Alright. Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game between Deathnote versus JadeDark. This game taking place here on Northern Isle. On the bottom left-hand side of the map, we have Deathnote spawning as the yellow human. Meanwhile, on the top right-hand side, we have JadeDark, well, by process of elimination, spawning as the red Night Elf. Night Elf versus human in a 1v1 matchup on Northern Isles. And as things get underway, I'm really curious in this matchup here. As well, I continue to be curious, hence the reason why I watch WarCraft 3, and hopefully it is the reason why you watch too. Are we going to be looking at an Archmage going up against the Keeper of the Grove? And what transitions, what timing changes may be different in the matchup now? So far, we're going to be looking at, well, the altar of king's training up here in just a second, and then the heroes will really be making a directional change of what type of heroes are trained. JadeDark actually opting to go for an altar of elders late, which obviously indicates that it will be a tavern hero. Tavern heroes, there are a wide variety of them, but I believe it is either going to be either Beastmaster or maybe a distant second Dark Ranger first. Firelord is also a possibility, but well, in terms of tiers and how effective they really are, they just don't seem to get go the distance later on in the game. JadeDark already having one archer trained up, going to be starting that second archer as well, and that timing is pretty much here. The timing for these archers is pretty much on point to try and get to this tavern hero here and be able to creep with that additional archer. On the bottom left-hand side of the map, we are already seeing Deathnote making his way out with Militia. Militia already, well, doing a little bit of action here. Our archers, what are they trying to do? Archers are being trained up here. It doesn't look like there's going to be any ancient creeping. Wisp needs to back away, and it is going to, in fact, be a Beastmaster first. Oddly enough, the archers are not going to be fighting alongside here. There's that Wisp right there, and we are going to be looking at, are we going to see a detonation? Yes, a detonation to stop and deny that little bit of experience. A bear is already out on the battlefield. And why would you go for the early archers if you're not going to really be attacking or creeping alongside with them? That's the big question there, as the bear is still going after one of those footmen. All right, JadeDark seems to be a little bit confused on how to use the rest of his army. His army is actually fairly large. It's just not engaging at this point. But at the same time, in the same way, he is denying a bit of creeping time for Deathnote. Deathnote unable to establish that expansion at all, as more and more archers are still getting trained up. Down to the south here, double bear all the way, putting in that pressure. No expansion. There's still plenty of units to go after, as bear number 1 and bear number 2 are still battling it up. Low hit point footman could end up getting denied right there. 1 or 2 more shots would have been enough there. 1 more shot. Is the Beastmaster going to be able to catch up to it? Yes, or the bear is able to catch up to it. And well, great eyes by Deathnote. Deathnote realizing which bear had the longer timed life, and opted to attack the bear that had the longer time life, meaning that, well, instead of still having a full hit point bear or near full hit point bear, he is actually himself able to have this kind of low hit. Actually not okay. Great, horrible use right there, as the Archmage now heads his way back off to the north. Now, Deathnote must know that something is not quite right. He didn't see a single archer in that matchup, and the Beastmaster was pretty much all up in the face, so to speak, in that fight there. Beastmaster getting up to level 2, going to finish off that last Ice Troll. We are looking at this Tree of Life nearly 2/3 of the way completed, and well, JadeDark is going to be setting up an expansion of his own with a full hit point and, well, nearly full mana Beastmaster as well. Quick ensnare onto that one bear there. Bear really wants to break free. The archers perhaps should start shadow melding. The bear should be able to engage here, as this flesh eater is going to get taken down. Beastmaster picking up a potion of replenishment, always very helpful. Back over here on the bottom left, the expansion is nearly done. Meanwhile, Tree of Life is also in that same predicament as well. One Ancient of War is there. We are looking at an Ancient of Wonders. Footman gonna rush along inside here, and that's just not gonna be good for this Footman at all. Drinking fully from that Moonwell. That Footman already down to 151 hit points. Archer trying to get in front of it right there, but not really gonna be able to get that distance going either. All right, down to 86 hit points. That Footman is pretty much nearly gone. Beastmaster, however, with no potion or no boots of speed, unable to catch up very quickly. May take two more shots, one more shot to finish off this Footman as the archers are once again creeping away from all of the action. Footman gets taken down, experience given to the Beastmaster. Archmage now already at level 3. Beastmaster one step behind. Cloak of Shadows picked up Crystal Ball, revealing a lot of the shenanigans here as the Tree of Life should be rooting here without many issues. We should also be looking at more units being trained. JadeDark sitting on, well, 700 gold. Meanwhile, Deathnote sitting on 100 gold, but a very large army inbound. All right, this is a bit of a risky maneuver. JadeDark may need to pick up a panda here in order to put in pressure as there's now a large army fighting over here at this Tree of Life. All right, back off to the north here. All the action. Are we going to be looking at a Tavern Hero? No, yes, it is going to be a Naga Sea Witch, not, I repeat, not a Panda, as the Naga Sea Witch should be able to use cold arrows to pick off low hit point units. Archmage now trying to chase after some of those units here. Footman now going to try and engage. Here we are looking at level 2 Bears. Ancient of Wonders quickly going to take him down. Cold arrows now being brought back over as we're looking at damage slowly adding up. All right, one Footman going to easily get taken down. Another should get taken down here as the Footmen are getting slowed up. Meanwhile, well, Deathnote trying to make a bit of a play inside here, but all he's really going to do is, well, if he gets stuck inside this position, nope, no additional buildings here, allowing for an easy tactical retreat. All right, no boots of speed on the Naga Sea, which has really been the problem as we're looking at more cold arrows followed by another bash coming in from that bear. Cold arrows, perhaps no, not going to go down either. Bear trying to get around the other side here. We're looking at Goldmine is finally entangled, but needs to hide more wisps inside as well. Archmage looks to try and put pressure, but knows that it cannot really deal damage to that entangled Goldmine as another Footman, well, a round of Footman trying to perhaps put pressure here. All right, a little bit of a trade, perhaps. Bear is now down across here, and Naga Sea Witch going to be coming across, trying to take down some of those wisps, but those wisps are really not going to end up falling all too easily as the archers try to put pressure onto that Archmage again and again. Archmage able to retreat back, low hit point archers able to heal and finally defend on the Footmen as they're going after those archers. Are we perhaps going to be looking at Dryads or Huntresses here? It really feels as though a Naga Sea Witch with Breath of Fire or a Panda with Breath of Fire could have been a very, very strong call here as well. Naga Sea Witch now trying to continue all of that damage once more, being able to blow damage across all of those units really makes quite the big difference as the Beastmaster is sitting at level 3, and finally we see the ancient Naga Sea Witch getting up to level 2. Level 1 Fork Lightning is on the table. Archers are just retreating back. JadeDark down to 29 supply compared to 42. Odin's Deathnote and taking quite a bit of damage as well as we're seeing the Fork Lightning going after multiple units again here. Low hit point Footman able to retreat again. Great cast, love. Thank you, Shocky Shocks, for joining in as well. Coming back around, archers, while trying to hide from the fireball of that Archmage, not going to be able to do exactly that. Beastmaster has a potion of replenishment, cold arrows from the Naga Sea Witch, but once more, JadeDark without boots of speed on that Naga Sea Witch, and that Naga Sea Witch just can't, well, there's one way to get around the map quickly. Staff of Preservation retreating all the way back home already. All right, trying to get ahead of the situation by teleporting there. I gotta say, great use of the Staff of Preservation as the Beastmaster uses a potion of replenishment. And this is a little bit of the downside that you see here. If you have a very wide open base, the Footmen are able to just run on inside without any real problem. Potion of replenishment being disrupted by the archers there. But it is this Footman with the Fend battle going up against mass archers, which is going in favor of Deathnote so far. JadeDark should perhaps be transitioning into some other types of frontline units. Huntresses would be a good call as the Mountain King going to make his presence known. throws down a Stormbolt, and now the Beastmaster might be in a bit of trouble. Bear now being dropped down right there. Is it going to get a bash onto that Archmage? It does. But one more final shot. No Stormbolt needed to disrupt that Raging Bear's follow-up attack, as the Archmage was able to, well, dive away, run back home, boots of speed, taking it home nearly. It looks like we're finally going to get a break in the action after all this time. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, as we are looking at, well, Ancient of Lore 38 over and sitting at 38 over 50 supply. Tree of Life, we are going into Tree of Eternity now. We should be looking at perhaps Adept training already being researched, and then trying to get up some of those bears, as Lumber is actually pretty limited by JadeDark, as a number of wisps were taken out all across the map. Bear, well, is going to get taken down pretty easily as well. Another Stormbolt there, as the Mountain King gets a bit more experience. Coming back through, Naga Sea Witch, Bear off over here. Raging Bear going to deal a little bit of damage. Shredder joining in on the fight. Staff of Preservation takes it back home after it deals a little bit of damage to try and do a bit more, well, harvesting, since we are a bit, well, low on lumber. Shredder back up to 300 hit points and climbing with the help of a Wisp. Beastmaster using up a Clarity Potion. Naga Sea Witch very low on mana. Does have Claws of Attack +9. The Beastmaster is such a weak hero. I don't know about that right now. Beastmaster in the right situations can in fact be really strong, as we're looking at some of these farms about to get taken down. Naga Sea Witch, well, being forced to retreat back here. And that's a very strong front line indeed, as Dryads are now joining in on the fight here. All right, Bears, double Bears trying to go after some of these peasants here, as Archer should be able to take down these Arcane Towers pretty quickly, as we're looking at a dive in on the other side as well. Wisp are doing quite a bit of repairing. There's some detonation. Wisps are trying to repair. That's not going to work out well. The Goblin Shredder will get taken out. And is this an actual good trade? I do not think so. Losing that Goblin Shredder represents a whole lot more, as we're looking at, well, all the Arcane Towers now taken down here. JadeDark finally sitting at 42 over 70 supply compared to 65 over 66. Deathnote actually sitting on a 50 supply army at this point, nearly double the size of JadeDark. And Deathnote, well, just has more to kill with. And that is going to be the problem. JadeDark has not been able to really overcome a lot of the issues and a lot of the problems. Did we have mastery training? Yes, we did. All right, so mastery training did already start, so we are going to have master training bears, which is incredibly important here. Getting that mastery training already queued up. Scroll of Town Portal here. Bear, is it going to try and get a rejuvenation off onto any units and then perhaps transform into a bear? Are we going to see a roar first as well? There's that roar. Transforming into a bear going to be incredibly important. Is this enough tech to get back into this game? As the Bears, well, there's a rejuvenation, there's transforming into a bear, and here we are going into the engagement. Ancient of Lore taking quite a bit of damage. Wisp being trying to brought over to repair. It's not going to be in time, as there is just too much shooting at it there. Needed it to be about, 10 seconds earlier. More Wisp being brought on over. There's some detonations. Bears joining in on the battles. There's some more rejuvenations onto, lower hit point Bear. Bear needs to be able to join into the battle here. Could get focused down very quickly, taking a lot of focus damage there. That's not a good spot to be in. You wanted to be in bear form before that engagement even started. 47 supply compared to 57 right there, but the reinforcements only from one production building are coming in much more quickly. Staff of Preservation saving a low hit point Bear. Is it going to turn back into a Druid and then try and do a little bit more healing as well? Sorceresses are also out on the battlefield as well, trying to do a bit more slowing, but is that gonna be enough? All right, more rejuvenations. A couple of bears getting killed in the front line. However, Rifleman actually getting taken down, trying to get caught up here as the Naga Sea Witch and the Archmages here. Beastmaster does have a couple of Moonwells here. That's going to be a big deal, being able to fully heal back on this side. Another Druid of the Claw. What is going on? Tries to rejuvenate. Is it going to get taken down again? Yes, it does. Just not controlling his own units, and that has been the problem of of this matchup. 39 supply compared to 54 as the Beastmaster coming back in from the other side. Naga Sewage continuing the fight here. Bear reinforcements are coming in fairly quickly. Stormbolt onto the Druid of the Claw. No, Staff of Preservation moves him 5 feet away and still gets taken down as the Archmage is now at level 5. All right, Naga Sewage taking quite a bit of damage. More Abolish Magic trying to take down the Water Elementals. Losing that Ancient of Lore was absolutely a big loss there, as a Quill Beast going to get taken down as well. All right, going after the Mountain King. Mountain King going to get taken down, but yes, gets taken down, but at the hands of the Ancient of Wonders, I believe. Beastmaster doesn't gain any experience off of that kill, as more bears now need to get trained up. Another bear, Spirit Bear, back out onto the battlefield. Is it going to be able to blink and then bash its way through, as the bears and the Quill Beast all getting slowed down here? 48 supply compared to 26. JadeDark, the story of his life right now. He has a whole bunch of gold and no way to really train up those units. Deathnote went early into tier 2 or into low upkeep and was able to spend quite a bit. Now more Druids of the Claw are going to get trained on up here. Spirit Bear blinking back down to the south. Well, it is. This base is gone too, so it's one base versus one base, but all of these moon walls are still here. Altar of Elders is still here. So overall, the game is still rather close. Deathnote now sitting at 250, or sitting in no upkeep. We are getting strength upgrade here. More Druid of the Claws are getting trained up as well. Tree of Ages trying to fully saturate, but on Northern Isle, you do run out of gold rather quickly at your expansion. Staff of Preservation moves the unit all the way back. More Druids of the Claw. Are they going to make it out onto the battlefield long enough? Perhaps get a rejuvenation on that Dryad. There's a roar, only giving it to the archers there, as a second Ancient of Lore finally going to get up and operational to try and train up more bears too. All right, Riflemen, Sorceresses, Dryads are all there to make sure that there is enough Abolish Magic to deal with the Water Elementals. The problem is the Riflemen are there to deal with those Dryads as well. Bear, however, blinks behind enemy lines, quickly takes it down. A couple of Mass Dispels as well, as the Wisp are being brought back over. Archers do have Roar, bigger damage indeed, as the Druid of the Claw gets Staff of Preservation back home. Wisp now being brought over to the fight, getting mass detonations here, as the Beastmaster could be, well, in a little bit of a better situation. There goes another Wisp here. Naga Sewage about to make its way back out, and this is still a very close, actually anyone's game, as the Naga Sewage could make a big drastic presence. All right, Rejuvenation needs to go down on that bear. Not quite sure what's going on. These guys need to go into bear form, as we're looking at Rejuvenation going across, and all of a sudden 3 additional bears out on the battlefield, able to perhaps go after those Riflemen. Could change things up. Meanwhile, where did that bashing Spirit Bear go? Back out onto the battlefield. Perhaps it got focused down earlier, as slow is the name of the game. Sorceress is trying to keep a little bit of distance. One Rifleman joining in on the battlefield a little bit late here, continuing to make their way back out. There goes a Priest, and well, that will be the end of that. All right, back down to the south here. One Ancient Protector going after this Blacksmith. Interesting situation, as well. Fortified armor, very difficult to deal with this army that we're looking at from Deathnote. Meanwhile, Naga Sewage is going to get closer and closer to level 5 here. We're going to see Rejuvenation on that bear, heal up as well, and then once it is back up to full hit points, perhaps transform back too. All right. At first, I thought like some summon had made its way down to the bottom left. That was not the case. Building up one Ancient Protector to, well, make sure that there is no additional expansions. We are looking at 6 minutes of mining left compared to 4 minutes of mining. That's where the bear is, and you can barely see the bear amongst all of that. Really difficult to spot, as yeah, you didn't even see the red here. All right, bear gonna blink on in once more. Yep, there it goes. Gonna continue to try and engage there. Hey, I'm allowed dad jokes. Over here on the bottom right-hand side of the map, a Magnetar Reaver going to get finished off. Naga Seawitch very close to level 5, should be able to get there. Beastmaster does not have a Scroll of Town Portal. What is it thinking? It needs to be able to get back home in a hurry if necessary, and it has no Scroll of Town Portal to do that. Naga Seawitch does get up to 5, gets a Hood of Cunning, and now making its way back off to the north. Meanwhile, the Quill Beasts are all getting cleaned up here. All right, we're looking at about 3 minutes of mining left. Ancient of War, not the important production building at all, as the Ancients of Lore are still in the back. Mountain King also sitting at level 5 here. So what was an easy game for Deathnote to try and finish off, that mastery training really making the big difference there, as the Dryads are now trying to make their way out. All right, it looks like they will be able to do exactly that. We're going to get into a little bit of an engagement. Level 3 Fork Lightning is on the table. Stormbolt onto the Naga Seawitch. There's some damage. Bear's not out to engage. Naga Seawitch does have a potion of lesser invulnerability. Going to go ahead and engage right there. There's a Fork Lightning going down. Rejuvenation perhaps onto the Naga Seawitch will be necessary. Beautiful potion of invulnerability dodge from that Stormbolt, as the Beastmaster is still fighting in that frontline spot. Another Fork Lightning could be coming in if necessary to try and add in more damage. Again, the Bears are in that front line, 59 supply compared to 56, as another Fork Lightning goes down across multiple units here. All right, Sorceresses are taking quite a bit of damage. Level 6 now on the Beastmaster. Staff of Preservation moves the Beastmaster back home. He's going to get some Moonwell juice as the Archmage falls at level 5. Mountain King could be in a little bit of trouble, and we have the reversal right there. Another use of the Thunder Lizards trying to dive on in, but, well, don't do it next to a Mountain King who has mana for Stormbolt. Naga Seawitch gets up to level 6, and a JadeDark coming in with a beautiful comeback. Just a beautiful comeback there. 20, it seemed like it was like, what, 30 supply or a 24 supply army compared to 50. The difference there being the time it takes reinforcements to get there, and, well, the tech advantage. That mastery training that was already queued up on the Ancient of Lore did make the difference. And, well, if JadeDark had just kept his second Ancient of Lore operational, started repairing it a bit earlier, it could have been the difference to really hold off that fight and come back ahead. And, well, the way it was played, it was still a great game by JadeDark, coming back from near death experience to take the game from Deathnote. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more Warcraft 3.